Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a digital microscope to something you've probably clicked past a dozen times this morning without a second thought, a login screen. Specifically, we're going to do a micro-deconstruction of the entry mechanics for the SoftWin platform. Because, every single character you see here, it's deliberately engineered to route, authenticate, and manage users. Let's break it down. So let's put ourselves right in the shoes of a user arriving at this digital threshold. When you look at this, you aren't just looking at text, you're looking at a highly structured decision tree. It's like a giant puzzle. What choices are actually being offered here? And how exactly does the platform categorize you from your very first click?
Section 1. The SoftWin Gateway. Let's analyze this entry point.
Okay, we're starting by isolating the primary directive, sign in to SoftWin. This literal phrase is the absolute anchor. In UX architecture, think of this as the digital sign above the door. It instantly removes any ambiguity, right? It totally grounds the user and establishes exactly what action is expected to happen next.
Moving on to Section 2, Diverging Paths. We're looking at returning versus new users.
Right off the bat, from that initial anchor point, the interface just splits into two completely distinct operational flows. On the left, sign in with password assumes you already hold the key. It's a demand for a credential. But then look at the alternative, create an account. This is an invitation. It acknowledges a totally different state and prepares to send the user down a completely separate pipeline to generate those keys. And right before that invitation, we see this. First time here? It's a classic UI tactic. By asking a really simple conversational question, the platform massively reduces friction. It catches the eye of a lost user who might be, say, frantically looking for where to put a password they don't even have, and it gently redirects them straight toward onboarding.
Which brings us to Section 3, the Substack routing. Where do these new accounts actually go?
All right, let's actually look at the underlying infrastructure hiding behind that create an account link, because this is where it gets really interesting. Rather than a native sign-up on their own servers, actually, scratch that. It's not native at all. New users are routed straight through Substack. The target is softwin.substack.com, hitting a subscribe endpoint. And then, get this, it redirects to a specific Share Center post tagged with a for-pub parameter. This is a massive takeaway. SoftWin is literally leveraging Substack's newsletter architecture for user acquisition and community sharing right from the jump. It's an immediate built-in growth hack embedded right into the login.
Section 4, Managing Session Persistence. The post-authentication choice.
So, bouncing back to the main gateway for a second, there is one final functional option presented before your credentials are ever submitted: stay signed in. It's usually just a tiny little checkbox, right? But it completely dictates how your browser and their server will interact long after you've closed your tab. Basically, you can think of session persistence as a digital VIP pass. It allows a user to remain authenticated and recognized by the system across multiple visits. No re-entering credentials required. By ticking that box, the user is directly trading a slight security variable for a massive increase in convenience. It just completely smooths out all your future interactions with the SoftWin platform. Section 5, the complete user flow. Let's map out this gateway. Now that we've totally unpacked every hidden link and phrase, let's look at the whole chronological journey here. First, the arrival and anchoring. Second, that critical decision point. Authenticate with a password or route through Substack's subscribe pipeline to create a brand new account. And finally, setting that long-term session persistence. 3 simple steps, driven by just a handful of words, but they orchestrate the entire entry experience. So as we wrap this explainer up, I want to leave you with this thought. How do the words at your digital thresholds dictate the efficiency of your user routing? The next time you log into a platform, try looking past those empty text boxes. Notice the phrasing, the implied choices, and the highly specific routing hiding right there behind the buttons. Because, as we've seen today, even the most minimal text strings define the entire architecture of our digital lives. Thanks for exploring this with me.